It's part ski marathon, part Norwegian history, part street festival. Connor Knighton takes us to the starting line of a race like none other.
Birkie fever, got me eager as a beaver, got me waiting for winter, got me praying for snow. Birkie fever, I'm a true believer, just get me to the start line, I'll be ready to go. We're on the way!
Each winter, thousands of cross-country skiers from all across the world travel to the North Woods of Wisconsin to travel more than 30 miles between the towns of Cable and Hayward. The American Birkebeiner is the largest cross-country ski race in the country, and the enthusiasm here is contagious.
We all got the Birkie fever, and it's just the excitement that builds about not only the race, but the whole event of Birkie Week.
The official Birkebeiner race, Birkie for short, can fly by in a couple of hours for the most elite skiers. But leading up to the main event, there are days of activities. There's shorter races for children. There's a Barkie, where dog lovers ski with their pets. Teams of 6 compete in giant ski races.
It's kind of like Comic-Con for athletes is how I'm looking at it.
Jackie and Dan DeRoma are avid skiers. Jackie has skied the Birkie 4 times, Dan 17. But for this year's race, they wanted to do things a little differently.
These other racers are going to be in spandex, Gore-Tex, you know. Yep. What are you going to be wearing?
Full-on fur.
Jackie, Dan, and Dan's father, Jim, were selected to be mascots of sorts, skiing the entire course on wooden skis, dressed as Norwegian folk heroes, all while carrying a baby doll. It's a tradition with roots in a far older history. As portrayed in the film The Last King, in the early 13th century, Norway was in the middle of a civil war. After King Håkon III died, members of the Birkebeiner faction skied his son, the heir to the throne, through the woods to safety. Each year in Wisconsin, 3 skiers reenact the rescue.
I think the fact that there is this real story about an event that now you're recreating it, I think that's pretty darn cool and pretty special, and I think it resonates with a lot of people.
Ben Popp is the executive director of the American Birkebeiner, which is modeled after a Norwegian race. There, every competitor skis with a baby-weight backpack to honor the warrior's journey. Of course, you may be asking yourself,
why is this crazy Norwegian history have anything to do with Hayward, Wisconsin, in the middle of northwestern Wisconsin, nowhere? It all came down to one man, Tony Wise.
Tony Wise was born in Hayward and was a born marketer. After serving in World War II, he decided to bring the competitive skiing he observed in Europe back home to Wisconsin, a place where Scandinavian ancestry is common, as a way to encourage tourism. His first Birkie race, held 50 years ago, had just 35 participants, most of whom had never cross-country skied before.
I swore up and down after that first I would never do anything so foolish again, but...
Today, at age 75, Ernie St. Germain is the only competitor who's participated in every single race. But there are more than 2,000 athletes who've appeared in 20 or more contests, which can turn into grueling all-day endeavors. The Birkie attracts skiers of varying ages and ability levels.
You're really going to discover who you are. It's one of the toughest marathon courses in the world.
So let yourself kind of glide a little. There you go. Good.
That challenge is what attracts elite skiers like Olympian Caitlin Gregg, who's won the women's race a record-setting 5 times.
The Birkie course is unlike any other ski course that we get to race, not only here in the United States, but also around the world. And I think that its terrain is so unique and so challenging that people just, myself included, love that aspect of it.
The race itself has faced challenges posed by warmer winters. In recent decades, it's been canceled twice due to lack of snow.
It's really important that we look at climate change and weather, because if we don't have it, well, it's a big loss.
The event provides a major boost for the local economy. This town of fewer than 3,000 residents hosts close to 40,000 spectators. On race day, Hayward's Main Street overflows with cheering fans caught up in Birkie fever, for which the only prescription is more cowbell. The church bells signal the arrival of the first finisher. David Norris won this year's men's race with a commanding lead. Caitlin Gregg came in third in the women's division. But the biggest cheers of the day were reserved for the Doromas. Nearly 7 hours after leaving the starting line, they skied onto Main Street and swapped out the baby doll for an actual baby.
Great to see you today.
Their daughter Clara played the part of Prince Haakon for the final few blocks. The Birkebeiners saved the day, until they do it all again next year.